What if I told you that one of the most powerful natural compounds for male vitality after 60 is sitting in your kitchen spice rack right now? I'm not talking about some expensive supplement. I'm not talking about a prescription. I'm talking about a single dried flower bud that has been used for centuries, and that modern science is now confirming does something remarkable for men's circulation, hormones, and morning vitality. A clove. One clove, placed under your tongue before you go to sleep. If that sounds too simple to be real, stay with me, because what I'm about to share isn't folk medicine, it's biology. And once you understand what's actually happening inside your body at night, you'll never look at your spice cabinet the same way again. If you've been waking up without that natural morning firmness you used to count on, or if your energy and drive feel like they've quietly slipped away, you are not alone, and you are not broken. Today, I'm going to walk you through exactly why clove works, what it does inside your body while you sleep, and the precise protocol that's helped dozens of my patients restore something they thought was simply gone for good. I'm Dr. Jocelyn Carter, a board-certified urologist with over 12 years of experience helping men over 60 reclaim their vitality, strength, and confidence. I've sat across from thousands of men in their 60s, 70s, even 80s, who came into my office convinced their best days were behind them, that what they were experiencing was just aging, inevitable, irreversible. Time after time, I've seen how targeted, natural support, when applied correctly, can restore function in ways those men thought were gone forever. This video is about one of the most underestimated tools in that arsenal. Before we dive in, do me a favor. Hit that like button. It helps other men find this information. And drop a comment telling me where you're watching from. I love connecting with men from all over the world who are taking their health seriously. Now let's get into it. Here's what most men over 60 are never told about what happens to their body at night. While you sleep, your body is supposed to run a natural repair cycle. Your testosterone production peaks in the early morning hours. Your blood vessels are meant to dilate, allowing blood to move freely. Your nitric oxide levels, the compound that signals your blood vessels to open and stay open, should be working quietly in the background, keeping everything functioning. But here's the brutal truth. After 60, that system starts to break down. First, your natural nitric oxide production drops significantly. Think of nitric oxide as the traffic controller for your entire circulatory system. When it's working, blood flows freely, including to the tissues that matter most for morning firmness. When it drops, everything downstream suffers. Second, chronic low-grade inflammation, the kind you can't feel but that quietly stiffens your blood vessels, begins to work against you. Stiff vessels can't dilate properly, and vessels that can't dilate can't deliver blood where it needs to go. Third, testosterone levels decline, and without adequate blood flow to support it, even what testosterone remains can't do its job effectively. It's like having a fire hose with a kink in it. The water is there, the pressure is there, but nothing reaches the end. That's exactly where clove comes in. And what it does, when used correctly and consistently, addresses all three of these problems simultaneously. At night, while you sleep. Let me walk you through exactly how. I've broken this down into 6 key mechanisms, and I want you to pay particular attention to numbers 4 and 6, because those are the ones most men and most doctors overlook entirely. 1. Eugenol, the natural nitric oxide booster. The primary active compound in clove is eugenol, and eugenol is a potent natural vasodilator. What that means in plain language, it signals the smooth muscle lining your blood vessels to relax and open up. When blood vessels relax, they widen. When they widen, blood flows freely to every tissue in your body, including penile tissue. Research published in vascular biology journals has confirmed that eugenol stimulates nitric oxide synthesis, essentially doing what your body used to do naturally at a younger age. Here's what that means for you in real terms. That morning firmness you remember, that you've been quietly grieving the loss of, was never about desire alone. It was about blood flow. It was about vessels that could open and stay open. When those vessels work again, that function returns. Not as a fluke. consistently. And the quiet confidence that comes with waking up that way again, it changes how a man carries himself all day. Place one whole dried clove under your tongue 20 to 30 minutes before bed. Let it rest there. The slow release of eugenol through the oral mucosa, the thin tissue under your tongue, allows direct absorption into your bloodstream, bypassing digestion. Start with one clove nightly for 14 days and observe results. I think of Robert, 67, a retired contractor from Ohio. He came to me frustrated. Healthy diet, walked every day, no medications. But the morning response he'd had his entire life had simply stopped showing up. We talked about circulation. We talked about eugenol. He committed to the protocol for 3 weeks. When he came back, he said, "Dr. Carter, it's back. My wife thought I bought something online. I told her it was a spice." His labs confirmed improved vascular markers. But more than that, his confidence was back. 2. Anti-inflammatory action that unlocks your vessels. Eugenol is one of nature's most studied anti-inflammatory compounds. It inhibits COX-2 enzymes, the same pathway targeted by common anti-inflammatory medications. In your blood vessels, chronic inflammation causes the inner lining, the endothelium, to stiffen and malfunction. A healthy endothelium produces nitric oxide on demand. An inflamed one can't. By reducing that inflammation overnight, Clove helps restore the endothelium's ability to respond when and where you need it. Many men describe their declining function as feeling like their body is fighting against them, like there's effort being put in, but nothing coming back. That feeling, that disconnection between desire and response, is often endothelial inflammation at work. When the inflammation quiets, men frequently describe the response as, "my body listening again." To amplify the anti-inflammatory effect of clove, pair your nightly clove with a small glass of warm water with half a teaspoon of raw honey. Honey contains additional anti-inflammatory polyphenols that complement eugenol's action. This simple combination taken 20 minutes before bed becomes a nightly vascular reset. 3. Testosterone support through antioxidant protection. Clove has one of the highest antioxidant ratings of any natural food. Measured on the ORAC scale, it outperforms blueberries by a factor of nearly 30. Why does that matter for testosterone? Oxidative stress, the accumulation of free radicals, damages Leydig cells, the cells in your testes responsible for testosterone production. Protecting those cells means protecting your body's ability to produce testosterone naturally, even as you age. Low testosterone doesn't just affect erections, it affects drive. It affects the desire to get up in the morning with purpose. It affects how you feel about yourself as a man. Men who begin to restore their antioxidant protection often describe a shift, not dramatic, but steady, in their overall sense of energy and motivation. For best antioxidant absorption, allow the clove to rest under your tongue for at least 15 to 20 minutes before swallowing or removing it. The sublingual absorption route delivers eugenol directly to your bloodstream, where it can act as a systemic antioxidant while you sleep. Do not chew. Biting into the clove releases compounds too quickly and reduces sustained overnight effect. Edward, 72, a retired school teacher, described himself as running on fumes. He wasn't depressed. His checkups were clean. But his drive, in every sense of the word, had faded. He started the Clove protocol alongside a daily zinc supplement I recommended. 6 weeks later, he told me, "I forgot what it felt like to actually want things. I'm planning a weekend trip with my wife for the first time in 2 years. Small changes, real results." 4. Blood sugar regulation, the hidden driver. Most men miss this. Here's the one most men, and honestly many doctors, overlook. Clove contains compounds, including methyl hydroxychalcone polymer, that enhance insulin sensitivity and help regulate blood sugar overnight. Why does this matter for morning vitality? High blood sugar, even mildly elevated levels that don't qualify as diabetes, damages the small blood vessels and nerves responsible for erectile function. By keeping blood sugar stable through the night, Clove protects the microvascular system that morning firmness depends on. Many men in their 60s and 70s have no idea their blood sugar is quietly working against them at night. They've been told their levels are fine. But fine and optimal are two different things. When men learn that something as simple as a clove can help protect those small vessels overnight, there's often a sense of relief that there's something actionable, something they can control. If you know your fasting blood sugar tends to run on the higher side, anywhere above 95 milligrams per deciliter, consider adding a small portion of cinnamon, a quarter teaspoon stirred into warm water, alongside your nightly clove. Cinnamon contains its own insulin-sensitizing compounds that work synergistically with eugenol. This combination is particularly powerful for men with any history of blood sugar concerns. 5. Nervous system calm, setting the stage for overnight restoration. Eugenol has documented mild analgesic and sedative properties. This is why it's been used in dentistry for decades. At lower doses, as delivered sublingually from a single clove, it gently activates GABA receptors in the brain, promoting a calmer nervous system state. A calmer nervous system means lower cortisol overnight, and lower overnight cortisol is directly associated with higher morning testosterone levels. The two are inversely related. When one rises, the other falls. Stress is one of the most common and least discussed contributors to declining male vitality after 60. Men who have been carrying the weight of careers, families, financial responsibilities for decades often don't realize how chronically elevated their stress hormones are. When they begin sleeping more deeply and waking more restored, they often describe it as coming back to themselves. To maximize this benefit, pair your clove ritual with a brief 5-minute wind-down routine. Dim lights 30 minutes before bed. Avoid screens for the final 20 minutes. Place the clove under your tongue, lie down, and breathe slowly. This sequence signals your nervous system that it is safe to enter deep, restorative sleep, and that's when your body does its most important repair work. I think of Marcus, 65, a former executive who hadn't slept through the night in years. He described his body as always on alert. After 3 weeks of the clove and wind-down protocol, he came in for a follow-up looking 10 years younger. He said, "I don't know if it's the clove or just sleeping again, but whatever it is, my wife noticed the difference before I did." Sometimes the path to vitality runs through a good night's sleep. 6. Morning response amplification, the compounding effect. Here's what makes consistent nightly use of clove different from a one-time intervention. Eugenol's effects are cumulative. Vascular inflammation doesn't reduce overnight. It reduces over days and weeks of consistent anti-inflammatory signaling. Endothelial function doesn't restore instantly. It improves progressively as oxidative stress decreases. What men typically report is a gradual, steady return, not a dramatic single night, but a clear trend over 2 to 4 weeks of nightly use. The compounding effect is perhaps the most important thing I can convey. Many men try something once, don't notice an immediate transformation, and give up. But restoration of vascular function is like rebuilding muscle after an injury. It requires consistency and patience. The men who stay with it for 21 to 30 days consistently report the most meaningful results. And once they experience it, they don't stop. Commit to a minimum 21-day protocol. 1 clove under the tongue, 20 minutes before sleep. Keep it simple. Keep it consistent. By day 7, many men notice deeper sleep. By day 14, improved morning energy. By day 21, many report the return of consistent morning firmness they hadn't experienced in years. Track your progress. Even a simple note in your phone each morning. That data will motivate you to continue. All right, gentlemen, here is your simple 3-step nightly protocol. You can start tonight. Step 1. 30 minutes before bed, prepare a small glass of warm water with half a teaspoon of raw honey and a quarter teaspoon of cinnamon. Sip it slowly. Step 2. Place 1 whole dried clove under your tongue. Do not chew it. Let it rest there for 20 minutes while you dim the lights and begin to wind down. Step 3. Remove or swallow the clove, lie down, and breathe slowly. Let your body do the rest. Do this every night for 21 days. That's it. 3 steps, 5 minutes of preparation, and 21 days of consistency. Most men notice better sleep within the first week. Morning vitality typically begins returning between days 14 and 21. Give your body the time it deserves. Before I give you the final CTA, I want to say something important. If you've been frustrated, if you've felt embarrassed or quietly ashamed, or like this part of your life is simply over, I want you to hear this directly from me as your doctor. You are not broken. What you're experiencing isn't a character flaw. It isn't weakness. It isn't the universe telling you your time has passed. It is biology. Specifically, it is vascular biology that is responding, as biology always does, to the right inputs. Your body still knows how to do this. It just needs support, the right environment, the right compounds, the right signals overnight, consistently, over time. I've watched men in their late 70s restore function they'd lost for years. I've watched marriages reignite. I've watched men walk out of my office standing taller than when they walked in, not because of a prescription, but because of renewed confidence in their own body. Even after 60, vitality is not gone. It is waiting. And sometimes, all it takes is one small clove to begin waking it back up. If this video gave you hope, or if it gave you something concrete to try tonight, give it a like. It helps other men who need this information find it. Drop a comment below and tell me, are you going to try the 21-day Clove protocol? Type yes if you're in, or tell me what's held you back. Share this with a friend, a brother, a neighbor who you know is struggling quietly. And subscribe, because every week I bring you science-backed, dignity-first health guidance designed specifically for men over 60. You might be the reason another man takes his first step back toward feeling fully alive. I'm Dr. Jocelyn Carter, reminding you that after 60, vitality isn't lost. It's simply waiting for you to awaken it. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next one.